because I'm library painting. There's no electricity in my apartment. I'm a victim of a hate crime. What else? What else? What else? What else? I miss Taylor's. Come on. You can give me money in person through PayPal. During my GoFundMe campaign. It's gofundme.com/love/Arlene-Lorenzo. My PayPal accounts are AR Blue Sky, Blue Sky Designs Gold, Love Stevenson, Love Straight to My Heart, Arlene Lorenzo Heart, Shop INTAYIAFAY, Tire Shop. My GoFundMe campaign, I'll say it. It's gofundme.com/Arlene-Lorenzo. I'm tagging the FBI in this post. Tagging NATO, possibly the Interpol, the U.S. Department of Justice, and the U.S. Department of Justice, the International Criminal Court, maybe the U.S. Marines. I'm seeking the death penalty for everyone that steals from me, everyone that stays in my homes without my permission, everyone that steals my vehicles, everyone that gets in the way of everything. What else? What else? What else? I'm currently charging my phone on that tall table there. What if there's no outlet near me at this table right now? What else? 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 I brought food for me, for my chewy. I only have the stems at the moment. I don't have others. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Tunisian lady son is tan bruta, asquerosa, doesn't understand what being a woman is, doesn't understand what a marriage is. So she moved in with my man into my home. Steals my vehicle, steals my money, gets in the way of me receiving money so I can't ever see my man. Ew, my man, es un menorito asqueroso. So I've never had sex with him and I won't ever be pursuing him. That's a separate issue. You can decapitate me how many letters when it's the sons that rape me, that steal my money and get in the way of me receiving money. They steal my homes. If I'm not mistaken, I don't have a home where I'm meant to be polyamorous with at least my goal is to curate 7 men that I can be polyamorous with. And those leeches went on to steal my personal home and they stay in it. They hire illegally people like Jimmy Generalities on societies that loves to pretend that she's me. They think it's a costume like Halloween. They're stupid. So gross. Ew, 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 ew. They've gone on to hire other people. I've heard Liam Baker, Fall, David Ledesma to stay in my home pretending to be me. They're stupid. They're so dumb. Ew, ew, they're embarrassing too. You can decapitate David Ledesma. You can decapitate Liam Baker. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez and his sons. That rape me, that steal my money and get in the way of me receiving money. Oh, this isn't like sex. One doesn't forget. Okay. What else? 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 I'm so bored. I'm so bored. I miss Jaden and Miss Kaimani. Jaden and Kaimani have been separated from me since 2016. I'm self-employed and currently I don't have any money to even work. Michael Norman raped me in 2016. I lost all inspiration. David Ledesma raped me in 2017. 2018, 2019, 2020, Jorge Villas raped me in 2016. You can decapitate Jorge Villas. You can decapitate Michael Norman. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez and his sons that raped me and steal my money and get in the way of me receiving money, facilitating those leeches to rape me. They explain a hate crime towards me. What was I, 17, 19 back then? They're disgusting. They're so gross. Because I refused to have sex with them. They tried to get me to get raped, thinking that I'm the lowest of the low. That doesn't make sense. They try to treat me like they are the lowest of the low, trying to get me scared and afraid that I won't ever have sex with them again, and that they're my only option. I want Benjamin Suarez and his sons that rape me and steal from me to kill themselves today. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? It's April 26th, 2025. I want Jorge Villas to kill himself today. I want David Ledesma to kill himself today. I want Michael Norman to kill himself today. William Baker to kill himself today. He hasn't killed himself yet. Ew. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. What else? What else? What else? What else? I want Sarah Francis to kill herself today. They facilitate that. For leeches to rape one, they're usually behind the scenes, but any seven niggas, Katie Leon. I want Katie Leon to kill herself today. I want Berenice Venegas to kill herself today. Like, it's gonna absurd. I want Marilyn Lorenzo Acevedo to kill herself today. I want Evelyn Lorenzo Acevedo to kill herself today. I want Gilbert Lorenzo Acevedo to kill himself today. It's April 2025. I want Maria Angelis Aviles Lorenzo Acevedo to kill herself today. I want Jimmy Gendalides Lorenzo Suarez to kill herself today. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? This. Not single for 1 minute. What else? What else? What else? I had the paper in my bag, so the front of it got the top and the bottom got the top got dirty-ish from being in my bag. Need to wash it. Needed it bag too. What else? What else? What else? Basically, what they're doing is taking footage of my misery. Or when I start posting on social media that I'm dating someone, they'll go on and harass those people and try to rape them by showing them videos of me during my misery. They want to use that as a conversation starter. Would you date this slob that her apartment is so dirty? But they don't know how to gauge intelligence that I'm not even afraid of them. They're so disgusting. So I go on and say my apartment right now is dirty because I don't have money because you need a lady son es a slug, que no sabe ser mi mujer, que se queda en mi casa, me roba mi dinero. She's disgusting. Ew, 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 ew. Ew. They think that one is gonna be scared, be like, "Hi guys, my apartment's a mess right now, but I don't know why." Ew, 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 ew. You can decapitate Jimmy Gendalides Lorenzo Suarez. What else? You can decapitate Anaila Suarez. What else? What else? What else? What else? More. I'm bored. is spreading like that flower wall. What else? 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 I went to shop today. But Jaden came on money. They just want to call me a bad mother because I don't let them rape me. Division that it is so sort of steals my money and goes on telling people she says she wants to rape me. She's so disgusting. She's been wanting to rape Jada and Kehlani before Jada and Kehlani were born. So disgusting. Ew, so she steals my money. She possibly invaded Edgar's privacy because they're always like, ¿cuánto tú gastabas en mí? Si me pongo 4, no puedo ser peor que ti. Ay, le se pone 4. No, I know que le se pone 4. Ay, le se pone 4. Me pongo 4 para ti. ¿Cuánto me pagas? Then you want to find out if I suck Taylor. If I suck. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. What a way to go. Mother had me wonder until I was a toddler. Sat me with was the ew, 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 ew. Ew, so she thinks that because she was there as part of my toddler exploration, that I need to complete having sex with her. She wants to force me to have sex with her. She's disgusting. No lo sobra una curiosidad. La apuntaron en Dexter y told her decades ago. A ver si aprendía y dijo que ya sabía lavarse los dientes. They missed teaching her sharing. She didn't know, or she won't learn. So, in the meantime, Benjamin's father the son introduced her as a wife. That isn't even the manicomio worth it. They use her as a hot body. Ew. Ew, ew, ew. They rape her. To me, they're raping her. Because she shouldn't even be having sex. Which is the reason why I don't have sex with those menoritos. They're not men. They could be like cuckoo. Es lo que es un parásito, un vago. Es lo que la corte quizás dice. What else? What else? La que lo violan. They thrive in sí, llámalo parásito and maybe I will hook up with someone better. They're disgusting porque lo violan. Ew, 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 ew. I'm bored. I am bored. They're always saying they'll never paint again. Ew, they're disgusting. They're disgusting. They don't know what I do in my life, so they're like, she'll never paint again. They're trying to kill me. Ew, 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 ew. They're basura. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez and his sons that rape me, steal my money, and get in the way of receiving money. It's April 26, 2025. So una basura, una curiosidad. I'm financially stable. Financially planning people. Ideally, working hours. Is that table available at this here? And out there. Possibly. I'm sending my GoFundMe campaign to people through Instagram. That's this live. You have to imagine. Oh, I thought about it after I couldn't remember. Y en la vida someone como que se va a ver que no sabe pensar. What else? What else? What else? They're terrorists. They're civilians. This, I'm bored. I'm bored. I'm just staying what's going on. No, there's a freaking super shit. And it's clicking to myself. Have I already done some good housekeeping? Or is that your home? I missed dinner with good morning. What else? 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 You can decapitate Margarita Correa. The birds that she used to try to beat me up when she was a child. That's stupid. Ew, 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 ew. What else? What else? What else? What else? So, what else? 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 You can decapitate me. That means what a sons that rape me. They steal my money and get away with your same money. They steal my personal home surgery. Ele é worse que o Gil, ele vive na casa dessa emoção. He thinks I'm gonna take him out on a date or take him somewhere ever. What else? What else? What else? Él solo se sabe comportar if someone grew up in a home that's 45,000 square feet. And that's not even respect, he's after something. A trust fund from those people, an inheritance for when he kills them all of diabetes. For real. They claim to be health experts. Have you heard them? They're so disgusting. They're terrorists. Ew, ew, ew. They steal money from one trying to live longer. Yo tiene una carrera como de bebé. They promise to people that they're gonna kill me. They're older than me. And that they promise to people that they're gonna kill me just to have days where I don't exist. What type of promise is that? Tipo un puerco. Ew, 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 ew. Ew, 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 ew. I'm bored. I'm bored. Just kidding. Anyways, I miss shopping for J9K Nani and myself. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I like that. I like it. That's pretty. I like that blanket that I always get from Target. What else? 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 I'm bored. I'm bored. So good. Except I wouldn't want. Look at that. Yes, delivery. What? I'm bored. I'm bored. What? Where's the glam in this? What is this? Smash potatoes. Where is the recipe? Patience. 103. That's a relatable dish. Both of them. What else? What else? Just like this. Roasted fish. Excuse me. This I've made the egg, the toast for breakfast. And spinach. Miso some. Looks good. What else? 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 So, potatoes, oil, garlic, tomatoes. What is pimentón verde? Not this before. Oh, that can. Oh, this sounds good. Cherry vinegar and aioli. Which one did I pick? What else? 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 I'm bored. Oh, that's a cute haircut. What else? I miss Taylor's mommy. I don't ever have hair accessories on me when she's in the water. That's so weird. What else? 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 I'm more than I've heard. I've never had one. What else? What else? What else? I want to get back to my diet and I miss my Bowflex weights. What else? 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 Because they try to rape women, they come up with excuses. Oh, she doesn't like me because she has gray hair. She doesn't like me because she's fat. She doesn't like. Ew, have you heard of this still speaking? Let's see, here since 2025. Ew. This looks familiar. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? You can decapitate the Villadesma that doesn't understand what a one night stand is. They only tried to stay in my home permanently for gas. Mm, for ew, that's so weird. Does it say? Was it mine? What else they celebrate anniversaries? And they drive my vehicles, trying to control my vagina. Yeah. They steal my vehicles and then they get people in my vehicle, like I'm the third wheel, or telling the girl that they control her vagina. Dale, tira cambio. Tipo un puerco, una asquerosidad. What else? What else? What else? You can decapitate the means artisans, the sons that rape me, that steal my money and get in the way of nursing. I'm even pleading with Donald Trump if they're next in line. What else? 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 Very important, 1995. What? What else? Could have been there where I'm just sleeping. But then I've seen something cold that I shop for in the wrong aisle and then I bring up from I don't want this to go bad for if I get it the next time. Yes, so pretty. Like the blue one best. This purple is very pretty. Yes, that was sweet. I love that size. trousers. I think so. I mean, in a wheelchair for me. I know the practice self-care. Some of my relatives have gone through the abuse that I've gone through and have been on a wheelchair so earlier they just give up. I'm not gonna put up like where I'm abused. I wanna look abused. What else? What else? What else? That's so weird. I love roast. What is this? Food network. What is this? Ooh. Potatoes. What is this? That looks so good. What else? What else? What else? So what's in the French onion fondue dip? Oh, I made this today. Possibly. And definitely the butter garlic oven fried with herbs. What I dipped in the French onion fondue dip, possibly with also steamed. What else? 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 I'm bored. All he wants to say is Dito. Well, he steals from me and he's giving himself y que the great life. Él no tiene vida, joder, un menorito asqueroso, no sirve. In my eyes, he's zero value to human capital, has no talent. And I get sick at Central Market later. What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm taking a picture of this mess and sending it to Jane and Kimberly. What else? What else? What else? I wonder if, because some kids are like, oh, I knew my mom is a legend. Pero I didn't know, like, my mom is a legend. I've heard that about some of my primas. So it's fascinating if they're like, no, I just think like she's good for the planet in general, but not like who she is. What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. It kind of reaches here. What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. Yes, this whole time, specifically in the past years, are always to me when Jimmy Jendality speaks, es como si she would speak con la boca llena de semen asqueroso. That's how I think of my head. Does that translate when I mention her? leaders we learn? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm an excellent leader. I'm an excellent leader. However, I'm one with the most monkeys following her. What else? What else? What else? So that takes away from even wanting to run. What else about me being an excellent leader? As a mom, I excel. You're so respectful towards me. Oof. Oh, I love this. This is something that I love. Seeing the 5 ingredients picture. That's really good. Really creative. What else? For real, I'm like, oh, I love Trader Joe's for that sometimes. They taste to me sometimes just as fresh. I miss them. What else? I used to get a dish of potatoes there. Sometimes the fried rice. Uh, just to break up the monotony. Monotony. I don't have any family other than myself, Jada and Kaylani. So instead of like dinner at grandma's or invite to someone's home that I wouldn't even want to be in anyways, I'm like, I'll just head over to Trader Joe's, and today we're having fried rice and this orange. What else that tastes just like takeout or taking them to a Chinese restaurant? I've taken them to a Chinese restaurant too. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. This is good. What else? That's impressive. That's really impressive. What could I add instead of mint? Though maybe parsley. No, yeah, cilantro. What else? What else? What else? What else? Grilled asparagus. Make it out. What smoke with paprika is that? That happens sometimes. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. What is the microgreen here? What else? Oh, it looks really good. What else? What else? What else? What else? That one looks good. I wonder if people on food stamps thrive on this type of recipes, or if that entices someone to sign up for food stamps just to cook like this for a while. It seems that it's somewhat affordable to do like a few days of this with just food stamps. What else? 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 Baked tomatoes. Yes, I would love. What else? 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 Um, mushroom soup. What's in it? Garlic, onion, carrot and celery mix, mushrooms, vegetable stock, and sour cream. What else? 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 I missed it. Currently charging my phone. The library is open until 6. My apartment's semi-ish clean. I took 3 bags of trash today out. I finally had energy to do so. I'll take a picture for me to send to you. That includes water things. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm taking a picture of this. And to me, it may become more than 5 ingredients because I may choose to buy the carrot, celery, and onion separately if I can find this. What else? What else? What else? What else? So the mushrooms. What vegetable stock then? I think I tried one. Tried it's not a vegetable stock, it's a chicken stock from Trader Joe's, really good. Or the crock pot. What else? What else? What else? What else? They've labeled me a Facebook addict, internet addict, a video game addict. I don't even touch the thing. But aren't they like free PC games? They're so gross. They're disgusting, those leeches that I grew up around. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I must say, mommy. So relatable to the pictures. That's why it's so difficult for some people to understand. It's like I post on Facebook and then they go on her first time ever out of her home. Nowadays, they're disgusting. They ignore the social media exists, hoping like, oh, they're like Dame Norito's fault. Like if I cover my ears and my eyes, people won't know that I'm here. Ew, 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 ew. My vagina was a minorita like that when I was a toddler. Oh, oh. That's why my parents made me divorce them, no? When I was 2. And Yolanda kept insisting that yeah, I can rehabilitate them. No, I can't. I, what are the hex for? I always question it. Like I can eat it, but I personally like I've done it. I have an aversion to knowing that there's again it like so blatant. It gets me offended. What is a potato mama? Ooh, what is arrabbiata sauce? What else did I? What else? Just like the boyfriend people say. What else? What else? This minus the mint. Possibly add parsley or thyme. What just keeps the page? What else? What else? What else? What else? Gnocchi I've made too. What else? Roasted cauliflower. I maybe on top of chuka, maybe. What else? 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 Glorian's is what is it? Was abused as a child, an orphan, and extremely abused by her family of origin. Did he terrorize her and said, "Ali's out TNC all the time, and you couldn't get to it"? El tipo, una falta de respeto, una basura. He terrorized my parents so badly that my parents and I, cheesecake, no fucking way, eggs, confectioner sugar, vanilla bean paste, cream cheese, and all-purpose flour. What else? What else? What else? What else? Alright, next. Anyways, on a Friday night, my parents, or during the daytime, and I would laugh. The cagao had terrorized us so badly that we wouldn't leave our homes because he wasn't like our main goal to see out there, and that he possibly would be out there going Pene Castilla stalking one. Full, 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 full. No one wants to get raped. Ew, 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 ew. By the way, my hair looks so good. I think I washed it in the shower today, and it shows I did. What else? 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 You can decapitate my homies, fathers, and sons that rape me and steal my money and get in the way of my same money. They terrorized my parents decades ago to not provide for me to rape me. So my parents felt taken hostage because in their own home, this leech stole my artwork and the money to date him. Ew, 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 ew. Isn't that a hijacking? That's hijacking. Like there's stuff when the person isn't there, but if the person is there, they have so many. What is it? Death penalty counts already. What else? 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 I'm bored. I'm bored. Look, I'm gonna cook eggs for myself. What is this? Oh, if I read a book, my sibling wants to introduce me to the author, whether she knows it or not. They want to have a threesome with the book, with the author. They're so disgusting. Lots of zucchini and goat cheese omelet made. What else? What else? What else? What else? You can decapitate your homies, what are sons? They'll rate me as selling money and getting away with. When I'm financially stable, I plan to travel the planet and meet people, ideally congressmen. What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. What do I want to eat? I don't want to eat my apples. What do I go for? Well, it's told like getting my salad. I did a text it. What else? 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 I'm bored. No sé, él quiere decirme, darme un guide of like the gentleman's guide, how un hombre se comporta. Y decirme, él te quiere ver feliz, él te quiere, y entonces lo hace perderle a uno el tiempo con una fucking conversación que uno no quiere tener cuando yo podría estar en Tinder swiping left or right, like, oh, tú me ves feliz, directly with a man. Es una pérdida de tiempo, se cree filoso. What else? 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 That's a whiner, not your baby. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? You can think of it with these sort of sons that rape me to steal my money and get in the way of your money. It's April 26, 2025. They thought my kids would say that I'm uncool. How so? My kids are drug addicts, rapists, murderers, and thieves. They're taminoritos. Oh. You can decapitate David Ledesma. They're so gross. They try to rape people still. With like, oh, if you're not having hot sex, your kids are gonna think that you're dumb and that what you do is boring. That's why I don't talk to them privately. Ew, 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 ew. What else? I just texted Jaden came on. What else? 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 Down to there I am. On the screen taking a picture. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. I'm bored. I want to visit Jaden County anytime next week. It's not that international. What else? There's like 5 items on the table. Let's use one as a placement. What else? I don't understand them all. I'm so disgusted. They're like, use the bag as a placement. I wouldn't know, but or they get mad. They're like, that's the most illegal thing that she did today. You can decapitate sons of family. You can decapitate families of the sons that rape me to steal my money and get in the way of your son. They're so disgusting. She stays in my homes without my permission, steals my vehicles, gets in the way of your son. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. Ew, 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 ew. And one day I'm told it says the sons that rape me to steal my money and get in the way of your son money to kill themselves. It's April 26th, 2025. I won't be able to much to kill himself today. I don't know where to get to kill himself today. I was need some Miss Carrero to kill herself today. But where are they off from my determination? They're trying to get me to kill myself by showing that they saw. They're so stupid. that they go through Breaklands trying to get him a date with me. They're dumb. Ew, 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 ew. Let me tell you what t-shirt this is. Also, I don't like the because are like upper. They think that a judge is gonna make them 10. They're saying that Edgar's dick is small. And I testify. Okay, so she says that rape me to steal my money and then lawyer me my money. In court. One. I plan to travel the planet and meet people, ideally polyamorous ones. Yeah, polyamorous people. They're trying to get me to suck dick illegally to show a person I don't have to. I need to show that I'm global by sucking dick illegally and then traveling. They're both curbing their terrorist fellows. Ew, 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 ew. No se abochona. Oh, el bocho se lo di yo. Yo no soy su madre. Tagging their dad, like, really, dude? Your kids don't know how to behave. Ew, 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 they're disgusting. They pay people trying to get these people to whip me into shape for them to rape me. Fuck. Because I've penalty by these people. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. Ew. Ew, ew, ew. What he does is volunteer work with las menoritas. I have a mother that could be taking care of them. They're disgusting. Real they don't. That's why I'm here with you and me primita. Qué bruta. Es un terrorista asqueroso. He steals my money and gives it to her. He gives her my vehicles. If he would be babysitting, he wouldn't be tying her up to my bed and then telling me that. Ew, 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 ew. To me, what they do is rape each other. They're so gross. I'm bored. do I paint again today? That little thing yesterday, how the priority my apartment needed to clean. So I'll focus on that. It's semi-ish clean. They have cameras in my apartment. They offer a view of it. You wipe in my They're terrorists over us. But yeah, you said they could give him a power of attorney, so stupid. They enjoy it basically. I pride myself that I've never had sex with him. I mean, I wouldn't rule out. I wouldn't even accept that. Lack social skills. Yeah. Went through my mother trying to have sex with me. Second, that's a rich people thing to do. They watch that on the novela. And people in that telenovela had sports cars and floral prints, that make it obvious person. Forgot that I someone spent a lot of time painting that versus solid color. Sure, I think solid color have a grid sometimes. Yeah, yeah. And then my siblings sabotage them. Yes, se dejan because como ya son las que se lo maman. And they're like, well. ¿Cómo que pica con ahora? Yes, it needs to happen. And they know that. They're disgusting. Anyways, I'm supposed to know this now. Lord. I'm bored. He's a terrorist. More chocolate. And I don't have any money. Yes. Si dijeron que no necesitan para next week. It's not for bed. What is there today? You can decapitate Believer Lorenzo Acevedo. You can decapitate Marilyn Lorenzo Acevedo. You can decapitate Believer Lorenzo Acevedo. You're so disgusting. You're so disgusting. What else? What else? It's not. For what? What is so little one? What is crap? What I channel sign? What else? What else? What else? What do you turn on you? Oh, that was next on my to-do list. Why they're that long? I actually like Tampa more than I thought I would. I'm like looking at the picture, I'm like, not sleepy. I'm not ready to leave yet. What else? 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 That looks good. What else? What is Parkland War? But my coffee. Not base temple. Lord. Try that. Lemon. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Oh, I want to visit with Danny Canoni. Demon Fashion. That's on my to-do list. Unless I get there, I might just that happens. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. Why have I been here? Two cute places. It's down I've eaten a few places at Channel, so I just can't remember where. What else? What else? What else? I went to visit the John Germany Library next week. What do I want to eat up there? What else? What else? What else? You can decapitate Bahamian citizens. The sons. Oh, I'm like, do I seek the death penalty for them or do I head over to the library? Back in 2014. No, hold on. Okay, already they've terrorized me that they'll be following me to the library in Puerto Rico and I didn't like that. Just to get to know me, just to see if I'm date worthy. That I don't need like una prueba. They're into illegal prostitution and they're male prostitutes, illegal one. So like, si ya no me demuestran. Because what they're enamored of is the sex and the other person is so gross and then they end up killing people like that. I've heard. Might as well call me Stockholm. Yeah. Like I'm sure that he has like so many other people that I don't appreciate. I'm stealing my money. What else? Oh, there's lots. Foreign exchange. Where's the map? Yeah, this there. What else do I want to visit? I'm gonna take Dating County to the museum. Please spare me, I'm telling you. Miriam Carrero le dice a Jaden que si tiene pelo en los huevos. Disgusting. They separate the children from a mother to sexually harass kids. I was screaming in 2020. Do they go on to leech on sexually harassing Jaden Kinlani? How many comments did those leeches have behind the scenes because they're addicted to porn? Yeah. Where are these pictures? Did I put it wrong? What else? Oh, and their fake me is there though. They're in Laversy, but they have a pattern of doing that for generations. Some people, did they make them strip? That talk is from old Davies. When I see a friend that I like, disgusting. Ew, 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 ew. Ellos y ella hacen fila todo para violar. Ew, 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 ew. Where's that going? If I have it here, no, I'll post it. What else? I'm aiming for like a few thousands of people to die for stealing from me for staying in my homes without my permission, for getting in the way of me receiving money. What else? What else? What else? Texas Sunshine. There's Emily. What else? 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 Oh, I got it through all of these leeches from. Ew, 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 ew. Él fue y violó a toda esa gente that were gonna be near me to say to me that I could have been spending time with him instead of them. If he wanted to spend time with me, he should have just spent time with me. That's it. Tipo un bruto, un asqueroso. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? You think the campus even I mean sort of the sons that rape me and steal my money and get in the way of me receiving them. What else? What else? What else? So I purposely miss those leeches behind the scenes, they're dating can only to strip like a construction worker, rapist, or stripper. They're disgusting. This is why they cause children to be separated from their mother to sexually harass the children. El tipo es un bruto, un puerco, un asqueroso. Él se cree que yo soy bruta, posiblemente. Y se cree que yo vivo tranquila while dating Kilani with their dad, being raped possibly by these leeches and their relatives. Ew. So he possibly thought that because I was with Jaden and Kaylani in the presence of leeches that sexually harass, that they sexually harass in my presence and they don't. Possibly called me a bad example of a mother when I'm not. I'm very strict in behavior and people to them. Sometimes they get underlined and then I laugh. But like if it's like a second of it. This is the culture with a more one laughing and taking to the phone before you heard. For real, for real, for real. I'm bored. I'm bored. I'm very bored. What else? What else? What else? Oh, do they laugh behind the scenes? That's where they need to send me, my parents, to the children's museum because they're women. They literally offering their vaginas all day. Ew, 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 ew. Well, el tipo un puerco. If he had wanted to spend time with me, he should have. He doesn't need to create smoke screens of shit. Es un menorito asqueroso. I miss it. Is that more light? I'm going to that one. I'm checking my inbox to see if I've seen any of stuff. Ice one. The one that I have expires today. They thought they would see me and they would post it to myself and be like, "Don't chicas. This is how it's done." They're detrimental to society, so gross. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. Let me see. I saw this picture earlier and I laughed. Porque Gloria Nilsson Ezio Rivera sexually harassed. However, she was an orphan very weak and she watched many telenovelas. So there is the like compassion towards her. From the rehabilitation perspective, from how Ramon and Gloria celebrated when they're like, Ramon said, "We raised a project manager." You raised a project manager about me. And I was like very young. Very young. I was pitching, lobbying for Marcus Zuckerberg to be CEO. Pitching for Facebook. What else? 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 Visiting all the people that I've divorced, but I didn't know. Oh, hold on. Parents that have been sexual the same one makes you the same. Some people stop illegally prostituting themselves after our conversation. Some people went for janitor job that they wanted to. Some people are like, now I'm cleaning homes. So happy after that conversation. Some people are like, you're not a CEO. Like, that's what the person wanted to be doing. What else? My parents told me about my ability to achieve world peace at a very young age. And my siblings vowed to kill many people. They're very dumb, they're very stupid. My parents lived the artist lifestyle and they don't get it. They want it like exigirle más de lo que ofrecen. And my parents would be like, well, if you don't like how we're living here, you want to get yourself to Disney, why don't you take yourself when you turn 18? I don't need to pack my bags and head right now to Disney because you asked for that. So a lot of it was like, take yourself. They were already death penalty worthy on their way to adults. So they're like, yo no voy a ir a la playa sola, yo me mato. What else? What else? What else? What else? You can decapitate Marilyn Lorenzo Acevedo. You can decapitate Benibe Lorenzo Acevedo. You can decapitate Benibe Acevedo. You can decapitate Gilbert Lorenzo Acevedo. You can decapitate Marilyn Lorenzo Acevedo. What else? I'm gonna shop for myself, Jaden Kanani today, and I don't have any money. They're not my children. They're not my priority. I don't need to be, what is it, coddling my siblings. I'm gonna dance at Garden today. Money. An outfit from H&M. What else? What else? What else? My apartment's
If you want, you can put your. There's a plug right here.
That one doesn't work. There's just one working. Oh, that one doesn't have any that work.
Let me see. Let me try this one. I don't want somebody to trip over.
Oh, I get it. That if not, I'll place it on the table.
Let's see. It's in charge.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mhm.
here possibly until like 5 or 6, and then I'll head over to and I get pizza or soup. I miss cooking soup for myself. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I was cooking breakfast for myself. What else? 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 That's a good bowl of soup. I had soup. You know what I remember? Cooking this after possibly being homeless for like 3 years. I was a haven for hope for a while. Yeah. I'm a victim of Menorito is trying to violate my reproductive rights. Mientras él va poniendo su pene sucio, asqueroso everywhere. I don't want it ever in me. Ew, ew, ew. He violates my rights, so I can't have sex because he wants to rape me. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. I don't want that near me ever. He's a rapist, murderer, and thief. What else? 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 Back to the camera. What else? What else? What else? He stole my money to date him, and then he raped me. Want coffee? He's gifted me money. I went to shop at H&M. I just stopped there and buy a t-shirt. I spilled some soup on myself at La Madeleine one day, so I stopped at H&M. I'm the relative of like whatever I just am out about. I have a spill or it gets cold suddenly, unless it's then H&M is usually the place because it's like for basics. There's always a basic section. It's but when in Disney, it's usually me. And I've done that on purpose. I think one day I'm like, whatever. I'm like, it's the weather channel says it's gonna get cooler later. I'm purposely not bringing you a sweater, so I buy you one later. What else? What else? What else? What else? I want coffee. So shady. What else? This is a good view. This is a good view. What else? What else? I want Sharpies. I like one. Two, I like them all. If one swims on it, I like them all. What else? 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 I like that concoction of tuna with avocado and veggies in it. It's hard to call the onion a veggie. Cilantro in it may be really good too. My knife skills are somewhat sloppy on some days. There's not soup. What else? I visited someone last year, didn't I? They're trying to kill me. They killed my mother because I visit the Catholic Church every week in just a t-shirt and they want to show off. Like, here, look at me, yes, I'm royalties are Ew, ew, ew. They're disgusting. I don't need to attend Catholic church every week. Ew, ew, ew. Do some of you attend some every week and get killed for not attending? They are disgusting. they size people up and they brand people. So my parents had a Catholic marriage supposedly. However, my parents are polyamorous. And they're stupid, these leeches. They're like, wow, I need to treat her this way. Instead of being respectful, they form a whole town in their head. Ew, 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 ew. That's because one rejects them to have sex with. He's so stupid, so gross. Una asquerosidad. You can decapitate Jimmy Generally restaurantes sus horas. Anyways, what else? What else? What else? They're disgusting. They violate human rights. They're so gross. I'm serious. Come on. They are upset that I didn't take Jaden to church that day that Jaden visited me. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. When I say that they're disgusting, they're worse than a turd. Full. What? People would be like, what the fuck did he just go on finding people that were human? ¿De dónde saca tanta gente ignorante? Oh. Ew. And they what? What else? So I'm watching this. I'm rewatching this because I didn't watch the whole thing earlier. Today. Okay, guess. What? What else? I'm bored. Obvious reasons. What else? But some people don't want one. That doesn't mean that they're illiterate and they can visit a common space, not necessarily a library where they can rent. I paid for computer use before just to order something online. What else? I'm so bored. I'm so bored. Anyways, I take Kaylani there. What else? So I'm heading over to Central Market later. Maybe I'll have pizza. Maybe I'll have soup. I'll be here until 5 or 6. I don't have electricity in my apartment. I have 2 bars of trash that I need to take out that I'll possibly take out tomorrow. And then if I don't have money, I'll be asking a bus driver for a free ride to HEB. Then I'll head back here and then I'll ask a bus driver for a free ride to my apartment. That's the worst case scenario. What else? What else? What else? What else? In the meantime, at one point, at what point did some people witness my siblings be embarrassed because they take a lot of people hostage con la excusa de que somos pobres o somos ricos, blah blah blah. And people are like, they won't even give her own money for a bus. It's that pathetic. They are about her finding someone to love, that ridiculously obsessed with sex they are, that they steal from her, so trying to rape her. Ew, 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 ew. You can decapitate Marilyn Lorenzo Acevedo, you can decapitate Giva Lorenzo Acevedo, you can decapitate Evelyn Lorenzo Acevedo, you can decapitate Evelyn Acevedo, you can decapitate Marilyn Lorenzo Acevedo. People say my expression, my face when I see them is like, ugh. After they become like aggressive and they don't know how to read that they rape, so they don't get a no for an answer. Disgusting. They're disgusting. You can decapitate Marilyn Lawrence Acevedo. Oh, she may have been sexting with Bill Gates about me, and he may have thought that she and I are like that tag team, sister duo team that we are. So is that also why this is a PSA? Like I have no attraction to her, and she's possibly sexting with just Jeff Bezos using a fake account where she pretends to be me, or he pretends to be me, as if we're in it together. They're so gross. They're so gross. Ew, ew. You can decapitate everyone that stays in my homes without my permission, steals my vehicles, gets in the way of me receiving money, steals my money. You can decapitate Evelyn Lorenzo Acevedo. You can decapitate Marilyn Lorenzo Acevedo. You can decapitate Gilbert Lorenzo Acevedo. What else? What else? What else? I'm just gonna do this. What else? Come on. I'm bored. What else? 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 More. What else? They're taking screenshots of that so that when I'm with Fabricio de las Marias, que se caguas, and I post it on. Then they go on to say like, yo, tú no te abochornas, nene, de haber tocado ese toto cuando ella hizo eso en Facebook. El tipo un menorito asqueroso, so, and it has nothing to do with the que he was raped. Es un bruto asqueroso. He's just full. I don't want him in my life forever. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm born. That just speaks to the, if you're the husband of this or the wife of this, you may be uncomfortable to learn that I'm at the library doing the right thing. saying that I need money for a bus pass. And these bitches steal from me. But that's because they also visit the library. There's the girls. They use the library to find a place to rape. So they don't know how to gauge intelligence. They're like, en la biblioteca voy yo cada rato y esa señora me la violeo. They plan to take my videos out of context. Just save that part where it says, esta señora me la violé. And when I'm financially stable and I'm dating, they'll have la menorita asquerosa be like, we know her. We're so close to her. Look what we found out about her. Listen to this video that says la menorita. No, esa señora me la violé. You had sex with them? Oh no. You need me instead in your life. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. Ew, 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 ew. Esa tipa es una puerca asquerosa. No se pudo poner una camiseta más apretada para parecer encuentro. I'm so bored. I attended a game with Jaden Pinoni. A lightning game. Then I didn't post a picture on Facebook. Oh, I think. Maybe I did. I just thought to myself, if I posted it on Instagram alone, I'm like, so the court was closed. Why was it the game with Jaden Pinoni? And I posted a picture of it just on Instagram. Like I just went with the court was closed. Well, I posted this. Oh, they think that I'm hiding from the court now. Like, that's a bad mother. That's a schoolmate. That doesn't ever. How in court they're so gross. They profile picture people like rapists, sex addicts, and illegal prostitutes. They're disgusting. My kids had to have had like bad attendance, bad behavior in school for me to take them to an event overnight and the whole picture been look at like, are you taking good care of your kids or not? You can decapitate Jimmy Dendaliri, Sorenzo Suarez. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez, Sorenzo sons that raped me, that steal my money and get in the way mercy money. They possibly tried to get Jaden Kilani through Cynthia. and have possibly tried for junior gender ladies to rape them. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. I don't ever want them in my life. They think I'm gonna take them away. They think that I'm here, like, and for the first course, I'm gonna have this like doing table mats. What else? Curtains to match. Ew, 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 ew. Ew, 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 ew. What else? Another mode and another. Ew, de con puerco. What else? What else? What else? Anyways, there's Merrick. What else? What else? What else? Hopefully, he didn't get raped by the leeches. Oh. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. You can decapitate my homie and slaughter son and sons that rape me and steal my money and get in the way of me or save money. It was too brag that even Merrick gets more action with him than me. He's a nobody to me. A man doesn't need to go on doing that. He doesn't get it. Full. Ew. Ew. What else? What else? How many pieces? Versus the container that costs like it's the clear container sometimes. Central Market. I didn't buy them the last time that I was there. But what did I get? I spent like $3 almost on a different dark chocolate caramel because that's what I wanted. Oh, they have those by the pound. That's listed here. The rich dark chocolate sea salt caramels. My computer's about to turn off. It's $8.99. It was like $7.99 before, wasn't it? What else? How many pieces are there here? 9, 18, so 4 more pieces ish. What else? What else? I'm bored. You can decapitate Jonas Vega. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez and Mr. Sansa. Read me so many of them or something. Maybe I'll paint again today. You can decapitate Brittany Akerson. You can decapitate Brittany Jean. What about saving this? I can't really read that flower. What else? And I really would like to recreate that. No, I don't think I will. What else? You can decapitate Leon Baker. I didn't want to see him as an adult. People warn them, it's like stay away from her. When you reach adult age, she's seeking the death penalty for you. If you exhibit this behavior that you have as a teen towards her as an adult. What else? They're all in it together, so gross. They're like, dale, damn. Ahora te toca a ti hostigarla. Ya David la violó. That's how they speak. Ya Ginny and the ladies, it's hilarious. But because they fake being me, it's not even funny. So she was jumping on a trampoline from like specific hours dando clase. Y ella se cree que yo iba a aprovechar what with Edgar and be like, ahora puedo hablar con él. To me, she's not even their actual wife. She's just a toy to them. They're so disgusting. They're disgusting. So she possibly, after a while, she invaded their privacy and le dijo, Anli, no te llama de 5 a 7 while I'm gone, dando clases. Para ver cuánta importancia ella tiene en la vida de ellos o no. So she possibly went on to pay someone or mientras daba clases. Sí, chicas, sigan brincando ahí. Mi amor, ¿cómo estás hoy? Haciéndose pasar por mí mientras daba la clase. Está ahí porque somehow, mientras yo estoy dando esta clase, entonces ella le puede hablar a él. Jesus Wilson Lorenzo has immunity to kill Jimmy's and diabetes. Lorenzo says people say it's somewhat difficult for me to. Oh, how does this work? What else? I thought they were. Oh, Valeria. My poor mother, that they terrorize her into looking weak when she isn't. Yeah, they don't understand polyamory, those leeches that I grew up from. So it's disgusting. It is myself. I'm supposed to fix. Who sacrificed and oh, literally, some people from Nathan joined the armed forces for a page, and they don't need to. What else? 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 What is it that I wanted to listen to earlier? Oh Lord. Oh, they killed my grandparents for their support towards Art Girl. They warned me of the hip replacement. They were disgusting. Y eso lo lleva por ahí como si fuera marido. Es una puerca asquerosa. Oh, let me tell you, listening to the bicho jelly. Ew. He mocked me 10 days ago when my grandpa was talking about arts for if my grandmommy's and my grandpapa's home. That day or later. What else? What else? What else? That I want to be able to attend? Because my parents were never providing for me. They terrorize my parents into not providing for me. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. So no vas a una curiosidad. You can decapitate me how many sort of sense the sunset raking the selling money and getting going or something. And Lord. What else? What else? Yeah, tiene que esa gente with the promise that he's gonna put me in a wheelchair. That's how he rapes for the day. Para las 5 dice, dale, dale, te voy a pronunciar la que no baña un día. Pues dale, tú bañame hoy. They do sex trade, sex delivery, sex trafficking, so gross. I don't ever want that. Él se inventó en su mente nada más que está casado conmigo para violar a la gente. Un puerco, una asquerosidad. Dan un asco, gente, dan un asco. In the meantime, what I'm finished, I stay my friend to travel with people. Ideally, polyamorous. That's a return way of the grocery. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. When I'm financially stable, I plan to travel with not every people. Ideally, polyamorous. What else? 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 They thought that it was gonna be a parade of pictures. They think I'm weak. They're disgusting. They thought that it would be a parade of pictures of every hooker that he's been with. They pretend that she's me. I don't need that stress in my life. I don't want to go. If the person that cleans the restrooms and cleans the library se lo mamó a él haciéndose pasar por mí. What he's trying to do is trying to create like a no way out for me situation where I would be like uncomfortable to be at a place all over again. Like when I was at my the Air Force Base, like where all these leeches that just showed up, que asco. Their mothers are not even worthy of having kids. They're so gross. Ew, 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 ew. So I like fun of taking my kids to school. Ew. I'm looking at them all like literally. I'm like it's the hardcore because the house was like maybe 10, 12 minutes walking distance from the school. So I would literally be doing the catwalk thing, walking towards the school to pick up Jaden and Kehlani in the afternoon, and taking them in the morning to school. And there were like all of these beaches saying hi to me. I'm like, no. And then there were others that I'm like, who is this? Why do I want to kill her like right now? Full. They're disgusting. Well, in the meantime, in 2016, they were making a monada. Y ellos son puercos, son hombres, son basura. It's so disrespectful. I get those animals. So, I want to know what's going on. What else? They want to mock me that there's fiesta and I'm not there. I'm not going to be able to get an entrance to. Not an invite ever. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? That makes me nervous. Too. Like I understand. Minorito talk. Sabi yung body speaker. They just literally. What? What do you like? Never look at you can decapitate intelligent person. This makes a complete really possible those discussing their discussion of the congratulations to Benjamin Suarez Lorenzo's sons and Geni's and the Hoodies. Lorenzo Suarez on the arrangement. Decades ago. Yeah. You can decapitate Geni's and the Lorenzo Suarez. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez Lorenzo's sons. Alright, you can decapitate Geni's and the no, the one who was like, oh, I know who you hang out. Tipo, no, ella se recuerda de ella y no le interesa. That was the whole purpose of her creating that account to remind me of their existence. Oh, why they're disgusting. Ew, 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 ew. Dan asco, son una basura. Ew, 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 ew. They're porn addicts and sex addicts. Ew. Ese hombre con más experiencia. Si a los 2 años se pasaba mamando uno de ellos. That's why they went this thing. I'm like, keep talking. Keep talking. Can now I remember who you are? It was still disgusting. Ew, 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 ew. They're disgusting. makes me want to take a nap right now. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Just water quenching. I can't do it. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Lord. Little things that get us in the attic. I'm not into the meat. I'm into the dick. So that's why I must be like, oh, there's so many ahorita que no son asquerosas. They encourage her poca educación que tiene. Next to me, I treat her like as an equal, believing that she is rehabilitated. For real. I think they just take advantage of her. He takes advantage of them. Pero that's disturbing. They're not men. Ew. If one treats them as an equal, they thrive in the same environment. What else? What else? Instagram. Instagram. Oh, it's not an account that's made private. There's a difference. I get processed though, but it takes a while to register. What else? What else? What else? And I'm not following her ever. They think that I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna follow her. Maybe she has pictures of them with what they do. With what Ramiro, mientras Ramiro se lo mete a ella. Y ella se hace pasar por mí. Y Gustavo le cocina y se hace pasar por mí. They're so disgusting. Is that a cry of help from them? There's porn videos that they record montándose las tetas los tres. Ella. And then one of them says, I don't know you guys. And then privately, they're like, don't say that. What is it that they got their language from? Literally, 92 que decapite Gustavo Cáceres, you can decapitate Gloria Margarita Cartagena, you can decapitate Sonia Alvarado Chapman, you can decapitate Ramiro González, you can decapitate Berlín Jean, o una puerca asquerosa que se queda en mi casa sin mi permiso, pretending to me un asco. Una tecatería asquerosa. You can decapitate Dalí Lorenzo Suárez. You can decapitate Benjamin Suárez Lorenzo sons that rape me to steal my money and the way we're saying. It's April 26, 2025. What else? It's the That's probably getting you. What else? You're right, it's what else? And I want to play the piano. This would be good for 2 millions. buttermilk. Uh, I just consider the avocado consistency of coffee. I love what else? They try to get me to be surrounded by kids students and Konami's age. Do they have group chats of mothers with babies for me to meet like randoms? Yeah, what else? What else? So they curated groups of people pretending that they can be me for them to gauge if I'm sexually attracted to babies and up and do babies and on your children. I would never. Babies can't get consent. They're so disturbing. Would be like using plastic ball. What else? Porque ese día conmigo no quiero decir this. What if it's laughing like a panic? What else? What else? What else? And what my hair looks clean-ish. Considering electricity in my apartment. I did a good job semi-washing it in my tub today. You can decapitate me having sort of so sunset raking this. They steal from me, dividing my rights in retaliation for me not having sex with them. They're disgusting. They can't do that. They've been starving me on purpose for 30 years plus. What else? They're trying to turn me into them or needy. I need the beach. What else? The time that you always got sober. There was a day that has happened to me as a child. I didn't place sunscreen on her back like after a few hours. I forgot. And then it was a little bit red. But we had already a little bit in the fridge for those appearances. What else did I happen? I ended up it wasn't listening. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I missed data. I missed the I purposely left my television and taking the news to and leaving them. Look at all the vacations. They faked that shit until I was growing up, and then they started with the violence again. People that were like looking into their lives like, oh, run away. What else? 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 I'm here. Sleep is what I'm looking for. Sleep. We shop at CVS. Mas também não estou com coração. E hoy estamos todos en mi casa. Si te permisas en mi casa, si te pasando algo que me explico, gente hosting people. They act like their manners, experts, or singers. You can decapitate a believe it that it's a little that went on to lose my virginity for me with my homies, lettuces, the sons that I love in my home that she doesn't have permission to be in. They're so disgusting. You can decapitate Maria Princess Isabella that went on to lose my virginity for me with my homies, lettuces, the sons that I love in my home that she doesn't have permission to be in. You can decapitate Gilbert Lorenzo Acevedo that went on to lose my virginity for me in my home with Benjamin Suarez's sons that I love, that he doesn't have permission to be in my home. You can decapitate Orlando Elizabeth Lorenzo that went on to lose my virginity for me in my home with these bitches that I love. Oh, 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 without having permission to be in my home. You can decapitate Jody Lorenzo Chaparro, the one who to lose my virginity for me in my home that he doesn't have permission to be in. With Benjamin Suarez systems that I know, you can decapitate Benjamin Suarez systems that I know that have raped me, that steal my money and get low embarrassment. They want to make me cry. Mm, they're disgusting. They're disgusting. You can decapitate Jimmy Gentile, eso sabe que no es una mujer, es una asquerosidad. What else? 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 She wants to try to make me cry that I want Richie and I can have it. Stupid, tiempo, Richie. What else? You can decapitate Richie that make me in 2023. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm gonna stay at the Best Western today. Stay at completely. We're going to be here until like 5 or 6. What do I want? So it falls into the snack category. This is open. Did I say that right? Here for one of their lunch sampling today. I don't know what it's going to be. Or maybe here they have, I saw it, did I? They probably made yeah. That's really good. That's what I remember. They are the start living it free. What else to me? Because everything that I would order would be stuff that if I ordered that are usual, it comes in sequences. So if I to a dessert, you get to $20. Which they possibly was in that order anyway. Water, uh, the breads, most likely. Definitely the fun that because we are pushing either water. What else? So I most definitely to the $20 can get the three customers. What else? They try to make it seem like I'm embarrassing because I don't have electricity in my apartment. Like I don't put in the effort when they're the embarrassing ones. They're the ones stealing from me, so I don't have electricity in my apartment. So that's why I don't talk to them because they would have been like I found their hostage, literally telling to me literally why you're the landlord if you don't have electricity. Y a ellos se dedican a eso todavía. Full gas, almost yeah. What else that I was missing? I don't know what was this. Something down My kids don't see me as a daughter sign, literally. They never have. It doesn't take much to spend time with them, but based on their behavior, I love showing that off. I don't need to. But as part of my consciousness to post it online, that they will see. This is que me compraste the with me. I think que me compraste this if they're not even with you. It's what's today. Just always like I miss you, just say I miss you, brother. Pero don't fíjate, those of teen, there's freedom of speech that people that get along with you and stuff like that. Or like, you didn't buy me this. They never go hard with me. Young word, like there's even another of them being in my home with books that they selected themselves to read, that in preamble to try to get me to kill myself. This lead would have tried to force me to stay with the books on the table. Then I had a picture that it was in Facebook, but for me to read. I have the section. I am doing oh, it's so nice. Watching telenovela style, they're so gross. They're like, pues alguien dijo que no lo quiere. Ahí está, le propuso matrimonio la chica. They don't want to grow up. They're so disgusting. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. What's that? You can look at the information that it is. You can look at the women people have yes. Don't take a survey when you will not a priority. So that is some people do feel the hurtful thing of showing up to it and saying like something I didn't really some cities. I would visit some places and people would be like, good po sa noches, no, comer. Like that's not my that's just a deep murder. And my husband would just like, what else about somebody's circumstance? I'm so glad. Yeah, they told him off so we could do like You can decapitate them and cut it off with my way so that Gabby's happy. So that his mom is happy. They're so disgusting. They lack social skills. Huh? Maybe change the together for Why this the kind of the sweet? Constantly other social interactions. Older people that I think I've seen around my parents, colleagues of my parents, or people I've just visited in Puerto Rico. Possibly real I don't acknowledge it because I don't remember it. So, because it's like on the way ish, it's not doing it to extend my footsteps at all. Pero I may have that's too many buses to be asking for a primary. If I have a bus, just to be asking. Or not for a primary. Oh, and two. So esto lleva violando gente por más de 30 años. Esto lleva violando gente por más de 30 años. Esto lleva violando gente por más de 30 años. Ya diré que no miente. Muy bien, posiblemente. Esto lleva violando gente por más de 30 años in San Antonio, thinking that I'm going to talk to them. So when I ask the bus driver for a free ride, they think that I'm getting on them or on the bus driver's thing. They really would. It isn't through me. They don't get it. They think that they're like a mass of mud that is put over me. People don't associate me with them. No one ever even to me when I speak about them. They're disgusting. You can decapitate one of us. You can decapitate us. You can decapitate using the Suarez. You can decapitate with the Flamingos. You can decapitate the decapitate. You can decapitate the Andres Velo Galicia. You can decapitate the Florida. You can decapitate the Hamius with the Says that make me the same when you get in the other skin. Insects are sometimes. Ew. And they assume that I would talk to them. Oh, Lord, that they're working on this already. So, ew, ew. You can decapitate enemies, but if it just comes out making you stand in the middle of the that's an option. We thought that it would be really close to doing it. They don't understand trust, they don't understand polyamory, they don't understand orgies, full. Possibly people were giving their dad trust during orgies and they thought they were being sold. Some people do a relationship trust for like in the moment and they don't expect continuity. What else? 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 There's some It's a shrink. What else? What else? What else? Looking for Tesla. Just he doesn't wish this that I forget him. Just to meet him again doesn't fit. He gets confused. Yeah, that's also. Well, they rape each other. The title of my next album, my next book cover. Well, they rape each other. What else? What else? What else? What else? Really pretty big. What else? What else? What else? and decapitate my only citizens of folks that are making me to steal my money and go understand them. They're so disgusting. Ew, 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 they're not even men. So, Come on. So I don't know my students. I'm going to live in my family and I didn't marry. And I'm part of the sort of I don't remember the name. What else? What else? What else? I'm sure another skill that I'll possibly have to perform before if I have to testify against police just doing something. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? That's the timeline. FBI tip form. It's just for the meddling. Yeah, because they brand people. They're like performers. Oh, they do. They're so gross. ¿Cuánta gente no han violado tan asquerosa? Y le dicen mentiras. Yeah, they make it seem like I they're disgusting. Yeah, because I don't let them rape me. They don't want to rape. Oh, it's because she's Catholic and Catholicism only promotes some man. You don't even know what they're saying. They're so gross. Catholicism promotes consumption. What little? They're not the entire planet. Universal. Might as well visit someone or the men. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. They're so gross. They're white. They're white. Oh, yeah, can I say but this is a big baby thing. Yeah, yeah. What else? What else? What else? What else? Yeah, so anyways, that's the friends that make me the stealing money and getting my years money to go. It's April 26, 2025. So I basically filled the FBI tip form against himself every day. When I married a Gary said they would report to the FBI every day that I was his prisoner. My parents purposely didn't give me money. And my siblings steal from me. How watch those he steal from me? When you save my homes and all my permission steals my vehicles from them. Not a worthy candidate for election. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. What else? Mensaje obtaining Jamaican language. I guess decades ago, we would come to me and said, Jamaican language is small. I wasn't there when that happened. But anyways, Jamaican language is small. They can't be here. Jamaican language is here. I think I'm going to take a role as they were. Yeah, correct. Yeah, and then that's how we get it. Yeah, yeah. This thing is supposed to be even plastic. It's like a yeah, 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 yeah. Ella se cree que ella está comiendo grande. And yes, ella is also from walking the city market. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ella observa y luego lo expresa en servicio de país. Oh, what she sees about me, or tries to be the opposite. What else? What else? You can become particularly with the well, they want me to say that I'm a rape victim. Because then they're gonna screenshot right it or the video that we post and whoever. I'm like, I'm dating Fabricio. Because Maria, whatever. Yeah, the couple who look at me on this picture on Facebook. But if it turns out to maybe more nice to be like, entonces aquí estoy con este otro. What else? What else? What else? What else? You'll still go and be like, really? You're gonna be prepared that she's on then none of us have forever complete. Fuck me, instead it takes fuck me instead that I can tell. Every time you tell me things, yeah, yeah. So, who knows when it comes to my money's to take me decades ago and then they went on to great people. They have no idea. But I'm finished mistake a lot of times. I make people they want to proceed without me, and then they're like, every day's a distraction. Proceed without me to where to the grave. If I get my way, I'm hoping to send to jail thousands of people and for to get them to death penalty for abusing me dating. Está la prima, la tía, la hermana, la esposa del hermano, ¿qué más? Ew, 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 they're disgusting. They're disgusting. They're disgusting because it's a small sample and the whole thing just sent at least a few thousand people. And for the at least a few thousand people. Or stay from meeting. If anything, this is the biggest I can. They will be difficult. And no, it's a Francis with the hips. And now I'm thinking of something mocked me 10 years ago. I was playing with my flowers. Oh, I had to spill them of applesauce and I used the petals of the flower to wipe the table and then the flower kept ripping apart. So whatever was left of the flower, I dropped it there. The other day, downstairs, as I got off of this. What else? And we have been picked up because some people consider not part of that incident where they have to do this. What else is so pretty? So pretty. What else? Um, Then I went up to 2000 again. Something like that is something. So they're just because I really if she survived the 20s without me, so somebody's gonna bring it back and then try to get her to die of it. You know, so they harbor babies in China. And when I say China tonight, I mean with measles. Look at he's stupid. And then has a huge following. This is a small sample of stupid people that have contributed to the measles being back. They think it's funny that Jada and Kehlani got separated from me. They're disturbing. They're disturbing with how gross they are stealing my money, Jada's and Kehlani's money. Yeah. I want pizza. I'm not on what else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I didn't shop today. I went shop today. In the meantime, it's all math at this stage. That possibly stole my personal home for me to live in with polyamorous men. But he's like, he's so slow. He wasn't even going to be invited to that. good couple, so I don't know what the he hires someone to protect me and this my home supposed to school yeah, and they captive and having some rating selling and you get more someone you can the captive we got each other and regardless of me it's the way you get the captive Italia create you can the captive you can the captive medium country you can the captive something so you can the captive Italia Carrero, you can decapite Cynthia Lawrence, so you can decapite Angela Jones, you can decapite Lindsay Fishner, you can decapitate Kate Miller, you can decapitate Amaryllis Chewati Alonso, yes, you can decapitate William Pickett, you can decapitate Carol Baskin, you can decapitate Nicola. They all take turns. I've heard to say in my personal home to be calling on medicine. According to them, I'm too slow to invite these bitches to it, so they invite themselves. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. Some of us look at them. Ew, they lack social skills. They don't have manners. Ew, 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 ew. What is the other side? National Association of Social Workers. Yeah, let me read all of them. I don't think so. What's the right on? Look at LB, it's so good they know already, right? Or they were consulted already. Um, I know a few because there's people that have an immunity to kill all of these species. Or stealing from me already in my 20s. That was decades ago. They're disgusting and they went with any crime told me. They're like, we can convince her. We're like, if we make her clear, if we make her secretary, we take her kids away. Ew, 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 they're disgusting. They're disgusting, so gross. Ew, ew, she wasn't going to go 13 the last time that I saw her. Decades ago, I think I was 19. Se quiere ir todo junto. What else? 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 When the people in the community that we work around the community don't even kill them in self-defense because like come on, like mature already. It's like one is peaceful for the most part, so one doesn't kill in self-defense unless physically attacked at this point, people say, for the most part. So people just keep giving them a break, but the court eventually gets tired of giving people their siblings the break to kill them in self-defense, and they don't do nothing. They continue to exist, be a part of the problem. This is a huge problem that they cause. It's also hard for kids doing so much. I can imagine generally these people to leave them out their houses. It's a sex addict, so some girls and also to waste water. Yeah. What else? Lord. Anyways, you can give me money in person to the big home. It's a blue sky with sky designs with a thick sun look straight to my heart. I know that it's hard. Shop INTAYIAFAY. I'm Marshall. My girlfriend Jim is completely on slash web slash earning dash golden slash seven. What else could have been consulted already or needs to be consulted? It's what Texas like. What else? It's already TSA yesterday. This is how we were set up for the Plástico here, this used to be this, here, there. Seems to be as a smooth set. That's funny though. Oh, if it's on her website, sometimes we'll check on the website and see if it needs me to Facebook to see if that's legit. I don't even want to know. Oh, how they rape in their mind the McDonald's. Ew, 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 ew. I don't know in their minds they rape McDonald's worker. Ew. Models. Beneficios ocultos de un buen enemigo. Hay una armonía oculta en la enemistad. Porque this has been hard. I'm just getting to this. Pero those 90 that I love, or the person who created this packaging, is possibly hablando like, pero if one doesn't go on to find the love that they are one place. What? No, I'm bored. I'm really bored. All of this is what all of this. My mind wasn't invited to talk so much. What else? What else? Entonces, usually the people accused get invited to events. People care and they're like as part of self care, maybe vamos a agruparnos, like este grupo de gente que they're really good at realizing people. So sometimes that happens and they're like, yo estuve recibiendo events left and right and no le invitaron a ningún lado. What else? What else? I'm bored. So listen. This is a Antarctica. What else was I making a destiny objective? No. Don't even college degree. You shouldn't even be posting on Facebook. They're stupid. They don't say on that penalty material and you just post on Facebook, please, and leave it up to one. They go on digging the dagger even more into themselves for killing self defense. Apparently, if I have to. What else? So they can't be gaslighting because they know we have a different posting on Facebook. Yeah, yeah, that's disgusting. What? Psicología UPRRP. Psicología UPRRP. Es lo que se rehabilita. A eso se le llama lo que se rehabilita. What else? How can the lowest be given praise to an enemy? It's impossible. Let the people that go on to create enemies. And I've heard that before. En lo que se rehabilita hay beneficios ocultos de un individuo. Hay gente que takes this out of context y dice, pues vamos a aprovecharlo, vamos a violarlo. This is how they get in trouble. What? What else? What else? I haven't read this before. What else? I'm so bored. I'm so bored. Anyways, when I'm financially stable, I'm going to travel the planet and meet people. I do.